Previously with the veggie burgers, I had you just combine all the ingredients into a food processor, blend it up, and then add a thickener like arrowroot powder or oat flour or something like that, and use that as a binding agent. However, I'm trying to make my recipes more pure, you know, like trying to not put flour in stuff, use as few additives and binding agents as possible. When I use binding agents, I make sure they're the healthy kind. But you know, the higher the real food ratio in your food, the better. So, so I experimented with these, and there we go. Here's what I came up with. When I mixed all the ingredients together, it made it really watery. So like if you're putting cilantro in there and sauteed onions, it just adds a lot of water content to it. And then as you're cooking it, it has, it can't evaporate enough water to make it all stick together. So I found that you will just combine the grain and the beans and the dry ingredients together, and then that it makes a kind of a dry, stiff dough. And then you hand mix in all the wet ingredients instead of blending it up into the food processor. It makes it so it's not so wet, and then as you're frying it up, it doesn't it doesn't have so much moisture in it that it can't dry out. Does that make sense? Okay, so here's the updated version of veggie burgers. Now, the last veggie burgers that I taught in my quick meals class, we did Southwest veggie burgers that were really great, and they had cilantro and Mexican flavors in there. This one is more of a basic, just kind of like a plain basic burger flavor that you can add anything to, and it's made with quinoa and black beans. Quinoa is a grain, it's gluten-free, very high in protein, and when you mix it with beans, you've got a complete protein. So if you're worried about where do I get my protein if I'm not eating meat, this has as much protein in it as equivalent weights of meat do. And plus it's plant-based, so it's got a lot more nutrient density to it, lots more vitamins and minerals and things that are good for your body, and you're not getting the detrimental effects of meat. If you make these and cook them ahead of time, if you go to a barbecue, it's really easy to just have the pre-cooked patties and just throw them on the grill for a second to warm them up, and then you can eat the rest of the barbecue with your vegetarian patties. And I find that that's a good option for me when I'm trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to eat at this barbecue? So black beans, quinoa, a little bit of black pepper, some salt, onion powder and garlic powder, and oh, we're missing something. One second. My magic seasoning. Okay, in one of my other recipe books, I think it's the Quick Meals recipe book, I show you how to make it's sausage seasoning. So you can mix this with potatoes or buckwheat or anything, and it makes it taste exactly like sausage. It's so fantastic. So you can use any spice you want. So if you want to put oregano or basil or Italian seasoning, this is just a basic burger recipe. You can put whatever flavor you want in here. I'm going to put the sausage flavoring in there, but you can use any kind of spice you want. I also have, if you guys are Costco shoppers, you know that no salt seasoning that they sell there. It's just got a bunch of herbs and spices in there with no salt. You can put that in there as well to make it whatever flavor you like. So all you do is blend this up, and then I've got some sauteed onions and garlic here, and so this will be a nice dry mixture that you can make into patties. Mix in by hand the sauteed onions and garlic, and when you saute them, make them as dry as possible. So you just mix it in, and then you just fry it on a frying pan. You can either do it on a frying pan or you can stick it in the oven. So you make little balls out of it, smash them flat, and you can put it on a cookie sheet that's lined with tin foil, stick it in the oven, and bake it for just until it starts getting brown. It depends on your oven, depends on what you put in it. Once it starts getting brown, flip it over to the other side, and I find that if I want to make a whole bunch of veggie patties, that works better than me sitting over the frying pan flipping them all the time. Wow, scary. All right. So we've got that. Mix these in by hand, just a little bit of onions and garlic. Now see how this is kind of like the consistency of hamburger, like raw hamburger. That's the way you want it. If it's for those of you that don't mind putting a little bit of egg into it, if you're not completely vegan and if you're okay with putting a little bit of egg in there, if the dough turns out a little bit too runny, then you can put a couple eggs in there and that'll firm it up and help it to get a little more solid.